So we've finally made it. We've got LNbits to version 1. We're bringing it out of beta. It's been 5 years, 8,500 commits later. Just hundreds of thousands of hours, I think, of developer time and people contributing to make LNbits what it is. So massive shout out and thank you to all of those people, whether it be developers, whether it be people helping out in the Telegram chat group, whether it be people coming up with ideas and people running the software and building stuff on top of the software and giving all that amazing feedback, real world feedback to make LNbits what it is. It really is just built out of necessity, and all the tools which are built into it are from real world feedback, which we've received. There's a lot of things in LNbits you just won't even notice because we've had a huge code refactor of the back end, and huge props to all the developers who did that. So it's an infinitely better piece of software. We've also made building extensions a hell of a lot easier, and then also been able to sell those extensions in the extension marketplace, which is great for developers. They can develop an extension, maybe they just do it over a weekend or even in an afternoon, and then they can sell that extension for some sats, which is a really nice incentive for developers to build extensions, and also a nice way for Bitcoin developers to earn some sats as well. This is going to be a quick overview of some of the features. I'll do more in-depth videos for each part of the video probably. But for now, it's just going to be a quick overview. So I apologize if I miss a few features here and there. I will inevitably. So we're just going to dive straight in. So the first thing you'll notice with an LNbits wallet when you open it up is the UI's changed, and we've added a whole bunch of nice things, elements to the UI. One of them being we've got these charts on the side here, so we get a quick visual overview of how our wallet's doing and the sats coming in and out of our wallet. We can also have this nice little toggle, so we can switch between fiat and we can switch between sats. You can configure what fiat you want to track in the wallet. We have all the wallets on the side of the drawer there like they always were, but that was always kind of restrictive. If you're in mobile view and you're using LNbits on your mobile phone, you'd have to keep opening that drawer to be able to access those different wallets and switch between wallets. So now we've got this great thing where we can just click this. It's all across the top of the screen. It looks pretty good in desktop mode as well, but really useful when you're in mobile view to be able to press and switch between those different wallets nice and easily. We can select different icons and colors for our wallets, so we can differentiate between what we're using those different wallets for. And we can, what else have we got in here? We've got the Bitcoin price tracking at the top there, which is using whatever fiat denomination you decide to track the Bitcoin price on. You don't have to have an exchange rate in your wallet, may I also add. If you're, a true Bitcoiner, you won't have that in there. If you're a super user, you can credit debit accounts. Your account as a super user, that's not usually available to anybody. I'm in super user mode at the moment. So that's the wallet UI. Now we're going to have a look at some of the great admin settings, which we've got now built into LNbits version 1, which really superpowers it for, even if you're just running it for friends and family, or maybe just running it for yourself, but especially for those people who are running LNbits as part of their stack to manage users, and they're just accessing it via that API. These are some great tools. First and foremost, we've got the user area. Before, because we have a lot of people building stuff on top of LNbits, because it's really great at making users and wallets within those users. And we used to use the user manager extension for this, and lots of great projects are built using the user manager extension, but it's a feature which really should be in core, and user manager had a whole bunch of stuff missing from it. So now it's everything that it was supposed to be. We can have a quick overview of all our users. We can see what their balances are. We can copy their user IDs. So maybe they get in contact and they've lost their login credentials. This is a really nice way of being able to retrieve them. You could say, what was the last transaction you made, to try and verify who they are. And you can click on it. You can see all their wallets. So Ben's only got one wallet, so I can only see one wallet here. And if I click on here, I can see the transactions that Ben has done. You can grab their keys. You can credit their account if you want to. You can copy their name. You can, what else can we do? We can click on the little edit button here, and then we can actually go in and grab their username if we need to, and their user ID from there as well. We can toggle, there's a little toggle here, so we can turn them into an admin if we want to. Maybe we want multiple people managing our LNbits install. We can create an account as well, and then all this is obviously accessible via the API. And now we have a token-based system for a lot of this stuff, so it's more secure rather than using the keys like we were before to be able to create users and create wallets programmatically in that API. API Watch This is another great security tool and just general server tool. You can see who's hitting what endpoints in your server. It's quite interesting stuff as well, because you see what extensions are being accessed, what the favorite extensions are. You can look at components here. You can see it's mostly core which is being hit, but the coin flip extension seems to be quite popular. And they've got some response code charts and request method charts, and just some nice visual stuff to be able to manage your server. You can search by user ID for the different endpoints which they've been hitting. In this server now, I'm clocking the IP addresses. So if there's a bad actor, I can take that IP address and then go put it in my IP blocker, and it can block the IP for it as well, which I'll show you in a moment. So that's API Watch. Now payments. Trying to keep this video brief. We get an overview of all the payments which have happened into our LNbits server. We get this nice chart here showing us all the payments as well. Another couple of charts. We've got more charts which are disabled. So we've got a wallets chart here. So this is transactions per wallet. We've got balance in and out chart. So the amount of money coming in and out of our LNbits install. Again, just the stuff you need when you're running this type of server as a service. And then also, if you're running it and you've built something on top of it and you're using LNbits through its API, you can access this as an admin backend. So is that it for there? Yeah, that's it for there. Let's skip from there. Okay, so extensions, extensions has always been extensions. It's the same as it's always been. Now let's go into settings. So if we click on settings, not much has changed in the wallet management funding source area. I'm not sure if there's been more funding sources added between the last release and version 1. I can't remember. But we've just got tons of potential ways in which you can fund your LNbits install, from Alby, Blink, Bolts, Breeze, LNbits. You can connect it to an LNbits. You've got LND, of course, and Core Lightning. Fake Wallet's amazing. It's actually a fake Lightning node, so your LNbits install can be its own internal shitcoin server. Maybe you could use it for a music event or something, and everyone can make payments through that server. I think that's a very powerful piece of technology, but that's for another video. We've got, what else have we got down here? We've got Zebedee, we've got OpenNode, we've got Nostr Wallet Connect. So yeah, loads of different options to choose from when you're running your LNbits. Phoenix D, of course. What else we got? We got the Watchdog. So Watchdog will switch your LNbits to Void Wallet if the payments in your node, because the value of the payments in your node becomes less than the amount of sats that you've got on your LNbits server. You can get it to turn the payments off altogether. Click on security here. We can see all the different login methods you can use. So this server, you can log in with your user ID, which is the original way in which you would access an LNbits user account. But obviously it's a bit backwards, so you can disable that if you want to, and you can use traditional username password method, or you can use Nostr to log into LNbits. I'll demo that in a moment. We've got a GitHub Auth working for this install as well. You can also add Google Auth and Keycloak. So a bunch of different ways in which people can log into your LNbits. And then if we go down, what have we got? We've got security tools. So we've got a server log. I won't click that just in case it's got any fruity, juicy information inside of it. But if you click that, it's got a server log as if you were running terminal, and you can see all the server logs which are coming through. We have an IP blocker. So if you have a bad actor, like this guy here, who's in the naughty list, we can stick the IP in there and then hit enter. And now their IP is blocked from accessing our server. You've also got a whitelist for IPs. So maybe you just want to put your own IP in there, your home IP, and then no one else can access your LNbits apart from you. We got a rate limiter. Again, great if you're getting DDoSed and people are really spamming your server. You can turn that way down and they'll get booted off. The average user only makes X amount of requests per minute or per second, whereas someone who's spamming you, they're making hundreds, thousands of requests per minute. So you can stop that bad behavior. And then if they go over that limit, they'll just get banned for a period of time on your server. If we click on payments, we've got the currencies which you'll allow for payments, and then also the default currency which is used. So maybe if I'm running LNbits for local services for me, I could set that to GBP. And then this is great. This is new. As a security tool, you can set the max outgoing payment amount and max incoming payment amount as well. So yeah, just restrict the amount of money which can come in and out of your LNbits in one go. And you can also restrict per wallet. So you can say, well, each wallet can only send X amount of sats per day. We've got only allow incoming payments. If there's any IBEX people watching from the bank IBEX, when El Salvador first started accepting Bitcoin, LNbits was so buggy and beat her back then, but they used it anyway. But what they did is they pulled out all the endpoints which would allow me to be able to send money out. So any money could go into the LNbits server. So that's a great feature. So now we've just got a toggle, you hit it, and now there's no way that money can go out of your LNbits server. It can only come into your LNbits server, which is a very good use case. Maybe if you're just accepting payments for a business, you only want money going in. That's fine. Service fee, so we can charge no, this is the service fee per transaction. Okay, yeah, so you can charge a fee per transaction, which this is a great way to monetize your LNbits install if you're offering it as a payment provider service to local businesses. You could set it to maybe 2%, and then you get a 2% for every transaction which happens. And then you can get it to go to a specific wallet. Of course, with LNbits, you can have as many wallets as you want, and that's one of its superpowers, is just being able to like break up all the different funds and what you're using them for. Exchanges. This is phenomenal. So Vladistan built this really incredible tool. With it, so before what would happen, all this was kind of just in the code. We had a list of exchanges, and then we would go and fetch the fiat rates for those exchanges, which people needed. And then we would average them out, and that would be the fiat rate, say on the wallet page, for example. But that was very restrictive. So we would often get people putting in issues in the LNbits repo where they want to support some odd currency, and there's only this exchange which you can get the exchange rate from. So rather than just put all these obscure exchanges into the back-end code, there's now a UI front-end page where you can put in your own endpoints, and then you can get it to get currencies from those endpoints. And you can even do things like exclude currencies. Maybe if they just have if they're just bad at that particular currency, you can exclude it. Okay, and you can also change the refresh rate. So currently I'm hitting all of those endpoints every 20 seconds, which might be too much. And maybe that's why Yadio has got these weird exchange rate happening. It seems to be, well, I'm not sure, maybe that's just that exchange. An interesting one is Bitfinex. Bitfinex, the Bitcoin's price always seems to be a little bit higher on Bitfinex. And someone said that was because of something to do with Tether. I don't know. I'm not going to gossip. But I think maybe if you knew what you were doing, actually just having all that data there from all these different exchanges and how much they're selling Bitcoin for, or how much they're pricing Bitcoin for rather, there's probably some nice arbitrage opportunities there for you if you know what you're doing. And you can, of course, add exchange providers and delete the providers if you want to. We've done, your users. Okay, so here you can put admin user IDs in here, and you can say who you want to be as an admin user and have access to this backend. You can also have allowed users. So this is like a whitelist of users, so only they can actually access LNbits. You can disable creating new users in LNbits, because if you're running a public service LNbits, and if it's easy to create a user account, you might have lots of people spamming and just creating loads of user accounts. Maybe you just want to turn that off, and then add accounts to yourself, and then give people the login details for those accounts. If we go over to extensions, again, not much has changed here. We have the manifest to the vetted extension list, which we maintain. And then you can add manifests to other extension lists if you want to, or if one of the extensions hasn't quite got through vetted yet and you want to test it out, you could put the manifest in there, and that will allow you to install that extension. But of course, be careful with that because it hasn't been vetted, the code. We've got an admin extension thing here, so we can select what extensions are admin only. So there's a bunch of extensions where you wouldn't want your users to have general access to them, such as Nostr Client, Nostr Relay. The Great Scheduler extension by BitCarrot. Scheduler allows you to do cron jobs in LNbits. It's really cool. You should check it out. But it's really an extension which an admin should use, as opposed to allowing your general users to use it. We've got user default extensions. So that is when someone creates a new user account. These are the extensions they'll first see. If your business is onboarding cafes to your LNbits install, maybe you've got TPOS, the POS extension, and the bulk card extension there, for example. And if you want, you can just disable all extensions and just turn them all off. And you can hide the API as well. Notifications. I did a video on this, on the Nostr part of it anyway, recently, so check that out on this channel. However, I'm going to do an overview of it again now. You've got You can enable Nostr and you can enable Telegram. What this does is it sends notifications about your server to as a DM on Nostr to you, or to a Telegram bot, which you can bring into a group of people. Maybe there's a group of people managing your LNbits server. And with the Nostr side of it as well, you can add multiple Nostr identities to DM. And then when it comes to what you're DMing them over, you can have like a server status. So at the moment I've got this set to 1. So every hour it's DMing me and saying, this is the server status of LNbits. This is how much is on the node. This is how much is on LNbits itself. And it's also still online, of course. You can get it to DM you when the service is shut down or when it starts up, when the super user has credited an account, or when super user settings are accessed, because that might be a symptom of somebody getting access to your username and password from somewhere and accessing the admin area of LNbits, which you don't really want. And then also, you can say if there's an incoming payment of over, 10,000 sats, then DM me, or outgoing over 10,000 sats, DM me. You can set that there as well. And then that will just send to a Nostr and then also Telegram if you've got that enabled. And then audit, if we go over to audit here. So these are the settings for the API watch and what you're going to be logging. So I'm logging pretty much everything, but you can turn them off as you wish. And then the retention days, so currently we're holding it for 7 days, the data. And you can obviously disable the entire API watch if you want to. You can say what response codes you're looking out for. You can say what type of requests methods you're looking out for as well. So yeah, very powerful tool. Site customization. We're very keen on LNbits because we have, I think all good free and open source software projects, you should be able to make it your own and have ownership over it and theme it and style it as you need to for whatever service or whatever you're offering. So we try and make that as easy as possible for our users. So you can set, of course, the site title, tagline, description, the default name for wallets when wallets are created, it's denominated in. So this is for specifically fake wallet, the thing I mentioned before, because with fake wallet, you can be your own internal shitcoin server. It's kind of interesting. The QR code logo. So what little logo pops up in the middle of your QR code? The QR codes which are generated within LNbits. A custom badge. So if you fill this out, there'll be a little badge up here. So you can, make your users aware of something. This is be careful with this server. Or this server is going to shut down in a month's time. Please take your funds off it. Custom logo. So this is the logo which you'll see on the homepage when you first go to LNbits. Ad space. So there is an ad space which you can enable, and then it will allow ads in the wallet area. And then the theming. So you can have you can change the global theme for LNbits, and we've done a lot with the theming for LNbits v1. So so it's not just having the gradient background or the block color background. We've also got a whole bunch of different borders which changes kind of the look of LNbits for all the different cards. So I'm going to change that now. I'm going to change that to neon border, and then classic. I'm going to change this from classic to flamingo, and then I'm going to add a background image. We don't save the images on the server. They're pulled from a URL. So don't go onto Google, search for an image, and then just copy image link and pop that in there. Get that image, process it through something like GIMP or Photoshop or whatever. Put it on your own repo, on your own GitHub account or whatever, and then pull them from there. GitHub's great as an image storage website. If you haven't got a GitHub account, go make a GitHub account and then create a repo and stick your images on there. It's free. It's free image storage. So I have a very cheesy cyberpunk background image. And I also have a Bitcoin logo, which I'm going to use to theme my LNbits. So this is my background image, and this is my logo. So I'm going to put the background image here, and then I'm going to go get that logo. And stick that, is that right? Yeah. And stick that here. Now I'm going to save. Now for this user, if I refresh, then nothing's going to change because the theme is already saved in local storage, which is a classic theme and with a gradient background, and it looks like no borders. For new users, when they first come to your LNbits install, there we go. Our neon background didn't change. Why didn't our neon background change? Let's change that. Hard border. I don't want hard border. I want neon border, and I want it flamingo. Save. Refresh. There we go. Look at that. Tasteful. Nice. I'll also show you the Nostr login method as well. So I've got Nostr Connect in this browser. I'm going to authorize, and I'm logging in with Nostr. Look how good that is. It's very nice. Let's have a look in extensions, see what it looks like. Looks all right. Thought it was going to be a little bit more garish than that, but it's actually all right. What else do I want to show you? Oh yeah, so not only can the admin set the global theme, of course the user can still set their own theme. So if I go over here, what should we go for? Should we go for El Salvador or monotone, black and white? If I click this little one here, what do we get? Okay, there we go. And you can set the default language in here as well. I don't want neon border. Let's go for no border. Mint. Could go for mint, couldn't we? Might go for hard border and mint. That looks quite nice. You can even set the payment reactions as well. So for different, when you get a payment in the wallet, the confetti, which happens, I want to add more of those. The reaction which happens inside the wallet, and that's our theme which the user set. The other thing I want to show you, in fact, is the access control list. So I think, as I said before, some of those endpoints before would be, you would hit them with the API keys. So you would take a wallet API key like an admin key or an invoice key, and you would use it to access the API. And that's a little bit backward. They should really have like an access control token. So we're going to be, we now can for any users, super user, normal users, you can create granular tokens. So if I go to account settings and if I go to update credentials, you need to put in a username and password here, which I've already done for this user because I've already logged in with them and done this already. But if I now go to access control list and then click on this little thing here and I put my password, hope I can remember the password, please work. Yes, it did. Good stuff. Test. And then I'm going to create a token for accessing the API. Now I could restrict this maybe for just, maybe the faucet, maybe I just need an access token for the ATM extension, which is running. And it just needs to be a read token and you can only have access to the read endpoints. Then I could just do it for that. Or you could do it for multiple endpoints. I'm going to do them for all, which you should of course never do, but I'm going to do it for this demo. And I'm going to create that API token. Makes me want to put wants me to put my password in again, which is good. And then I'll call it the token test. I'll set the expiration date to the end of the week, whatever that is. And then create that token. Okay, now we have our new access token. So now we can use this if you're building on top of LNbits to access those API endpoints, and it's that much more secure generating that token. And of course, you can generate tokens through the API as well. And I can demo this by going to our great Swagger docs on the LNbits install, which is just a /docs. And then I can go to core because I want to access all the wallets for this user, say. If you're building on LNbits, this is such a useful tool. So I can just pop in my access token there, hit execute, and then boom, I can see the wallets for that user, for the user who generated the access token. So yeah, powerful stuff. Oh, I also want to show you, in fact, what that top bar looks like when it's, there we go. So you've got the minimized wallet view, and then you can also, as I said before, I mean, there's not much change because neither of them have sats in. You can also switch between those wallets without having to open that drawer like you did before because it's kind of goofy. And I think that is probably it. As I said, I'm going to do more in-depth videos for some of these features, and I haven't given them enough justice. I apologize to the developers who built them, who are probably screaming at the screen now saying, oh, you missed this really cool feature. I will do follow-up videos on all the features, but thanks again, everybody who's helped create LNbits. and all the users, everyone, the people helping out in the Telegram chat. Yeah, you're wonderful. I love you all. So have fun playing around with LNbits version 1. It's a great piece of software, and yeah, I'm sure you'll be very impressed by it. Thank you. Bye.